felt that much.
Okay, so in terms of listening, you already scored 35 out of 40. So what was your experience? How many answers did you get wrong? You got 5 answers wrong. So did you complete the justification?
No,
So
it's pending.
try to finish it tomorrow first thing in the morning.
Yes.
Correct. So perfect. And anything else apart from listening?
Reading in the morning I completed. Writing is pending for today.
Okay. Writing is pending. No issues. So at this moment, what would you say is your biggest struggle?
I'm not able to maintain that correct timing in both writing and reading.
Okay. So writing and reading, you're not able to finish the task on time.
In morning I took uh, 8 more minutes to complete reading.
Okay. And what about writing?
Writing, if I know the content and if I have enough points, means it's okay. Otherwise,
Otherwise, it's a bit challenging task.
yes,
All right. Okay. In terms of writing, I think you're practicing every single day now.
yes,
Okay. And in terms of listening and reading, I think all the 4 modules you're practicing every single day.
yes.
Okay. Let's start with planning. How do you plan your essays?
If I know the content, means myself I will think. Otherwise, I usually research about that topic.
Okay. And how do you research the topics?
Sometimes I will use chat ChatGPT. Otherwise, in that cheat code, I will use vocabulary that section.
Hmm. Okay. So from the cheat code section, what about vocabulary section? Do you read that regularly?
Regularly, I'm not following.
Okay. So you already know the location of the
I
resources.
know.
You just need to either go to resources, select extra resources, and here you go, vocabulary. Or you can simply scroll to the bottom and here you go. Alright. So try to select one topic every single day and try to research one topic every single day. So eventually you'll finish a lot of topics. Then you will have
Yes.
good content for your writing task or your speaking as well. All right. When it comes to
Okay.
speaking, it's not just about knowing the topic. It's not just about having the vocabulary. It's about being able to excavate the ideas, the content, and everything when you're asked about that question. It should happen in milliseconds. For that, how do you think we should be able to bring up those ideas and contents whenever someone asks us? Any idea how to do that?
Practicing.
Practicing is not enough. Let's say, for instance, if we talk about our own cell phones or our laptops or our library, are we able to easily find the things?
Yes.
Why?
Because we already know about that thing. We
Because
own we own that certain thing.
you own that thing, you know exactly what it is set, and main thing is it is organized.
Yes.
Got it? So this is what you need to understand, that whenever you're learning something, try to organize it in your mind. And that is why I personally use mind maps. You've seen me using mind maps in the past. I'll definitely use mind maps for the rest of my life. All right. So I'll share my screen. Give me a second. Can you see the whiteboard?
Yes.
So whenever you're learning something, make sure that you organize your thoughts and save it properly. For instance, if I'm learning a topic, it should be properly organized. Let's take a random topic. Let's say education. So this is education. So you should know how education connects to different themes, different topics, and you should know in detail what goes where. So this you can randomly do, especially for speaking. We did this morning. So we prepared a cue card and we
Yes.
looked at all the outcomes possible. So now if I ask you the same cue card again, you'll be able to speak for at least 2 minutes because we organized our thoughts, and that is how we pull up thoughts easily. Alright. I'll share my personal experience with knowledge. So almost 2 years ago, I went to this Vipassana course. It was a 10-day course for which we need to meditate every single day for 10 hours. So that is a total of 100 hours in 10 days. That was one of the most challenging things I've done in my life. But after that, when I came back home, I exactly knew what I had to do with my life. I exactly knew which are the next steps. Because before that, nothing in my mind was organized. But once I came back, I knew exactly what to do of the knowledge I have. And after coming back, I only worked for 2 months or 2.5 months because I already started working on my ideas. I wanted to do my own business. And since then, here is the Boring Academy. Got the point? So
Yes.
assimilation of knowledge, that means you need to take in and understand knowledge completely, and then you should know what to do of that knowledge. You should be able to bring that up whenever it is demanded. Correct? So start meditating as much as possible and start organizing your ideas by doing mind maps. So dedicate one page to one mind map for a cue card. Dedicate one page for a mind map of an essay. And that is what we do in blueprints. When we practice, I already asked you to make blueprints. Got it?
Yes.
Any other questions? Let me share one more thing. See, when it comes to writing your essays, make sure that your ideas and your blueprints are also documented properly. And you should revise those ideas. You should see what you have done in the past. You can take any of your previous essays, and if you look at your ideas, you should be able to add something to that. And that is what you should do. You should constantly add information. You should constantly learn something. So after a while, you should know more things about the same topic. So if you rewrite your essay now, it should be better in terms of grammar, vocabulary, as well as idea. And the
Okay.
best way to do that is constantly learn something about every topic. As I said, be a generalist, don't be a specialist. And when should you be specialist in your life? When is the best time to be a specialist? Is it during your IELTS preparation?
No.
No, definitely not. IELTS demands a generalist, a person who knows a few things about everything. And if asked to write or convey it through a speech, they should be able to properly do that. That's it. But there is a time you need to be specialist. That is, the moment you finish IELTS, you should select one field, and that is the only field you pursue for the remainder of your life, because that is a particular field you will be researching, studying, and working for. For you, it's nursing, so you'll be only focusing on the aspect of nursing.
Yes.
Correct? So this is when you need
Yeah.
to be a specialist, not now. Now is not the time. All right. Chalo. Any other questions? And the viewers on Telegram, you can join us on Google Meet if you'd like to interact with me, or else you can watch the stream live on Telegram.
Hello, sir. Good evening, sir.
Very good evening, Lakshman. How are you, man?
Yeah, I'm doing good, sir. What about you?
I am doing well. I did check our recent chat after our last Q&A session. I did see that we did share messages. I did have a session with you. I do recall exactly who you are.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So,
Last week.
yes, last week I would say even before that, almost 2 weeks
Yes, sir.
ago, we connected.
Yeah, yeah. Before Makara Sankranti day.
Yes, we connected exactly.
Hmm.
So, how's your preparation going on?
Yeah, it's going on, sir. My exam is around the corner.
Okay, when is it exactly?
I'm planning to take on February 3rd.
February 3rd.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have sufficient days, like 15 days or so. Not exactly
Yes.
15, but less than 15.
Yes, sir.
So,
Actually, sir, one thing I would like to ask. In writing task, I'm able to generate ideas, but what after starting my body paragraph, just I'm thinking what I have to write. Means I'm not planning my essay in advance.
so how do you
This
think
is
planning should be done?
yeah. Actually, sir, before starting my essay, I will think about the main idea what I have to write. But how to implement my ideas, I will think after starting the body paragraph.
Okay. So what
This
you're
is
saying
what
is
happened.
your keywords are ready before your essay, but how to convey that keyword, that is the problem. Keyword, that is the problem.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, that is the aspect of writing. Let's say
Yes,
if I give you certain keywords, you should figure out how to write it in your own way. You should be able to mend your thoughts as per your will. And for that, I would recommend reading more, because that tells you how other people are conveying their message. You should also listen more, so you'll know how people are generating ideas and fluently speaking about it.
okay.
All right. Try to read
Yes,
more
sir.
essays. You can also find a lot of essays on the website. Do
Yes,
you know the
sir.
section where essays are shared?
Yes, sir. I know.
Yeah. So read as much as
See,
possible.
yeah, there are actually in Boring Academy website. I saw
Yes.
a lot of essays. They are in total in C2 level.
Yeah. This is the section Cambridge Essay Library. It is available in the quick
Yes,
links section.
yes, sir.
So read these essays. See, one thing you can do is, see, as a tutor, this is what I do frequently. I have to do reverse engineering. What
Sir,
I mean to say
actually,
is,
yes.
hmm?
Okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah, complete.
Yeah, actually, I read some essays in this website, but there are a lot of advanced vocab, some meanings I can't understand.
Why do you think that
Yes, sir.
happens?
Yeah, because they are advanced vocabs and I don't know the exact meaning of that. And for each and every word, I need to Google it. Yes, sir.
Okay, there was a time I had to Google things every 5 minutes, every 2 minutes, every 3 minutes. That was a time for me as well. I did not know all the vocabs. But what happened is, the more I researched about vocabulary, the less I had to Google. So now it's every 15 minutes or 30 minutes. I have to Google something. Like if I'm reading something, if I'm watching a movie, if I'm watching a documentary. So I have to Google something, Google a vocabulary every 30 minutes, or maybe not even search for anything. Because I know a lot of vocabulary, but that was not the case many years ago. So you need to make sure, need to ensure that the time span is reduced. The more you research, the more you know. All right.
Okay.
The vocabs you are not
Okay.
able to understand is these levels, C1 and C2.
Okay.
All right. So once you start researching about it, you'll have a better understanding of how it works. I'll share something on the screen. This is how you should learn vocabs. There is something called comprehensive learning. Have you heard about it?
No, sir.
I recently shared a photo, but I'll take another word today. I already shared it with one of my students. I'll just pull that out. Give me a second. Can you see this? I already shared this with my students, but this might be new for you.
Yes, sir.
So this is another version, but the word that I shared on the Telegram channel is beautiful. This is another word. Assimilate. What do you mean by assimilate?
Take in, okay, take in and understand fully.
I also use this word in the beginning of the session. Did you notice that? I use this word in the beginning of the session. You should try your best to assimilate things and then convey it to the people that listen to you. Right? So if you check the base form, assimilate, past form assimilated, past participle assimilated, present participle or the ing form is assimilating, and the third person singular is assimilates. If you go to the noun form, adjective form, adverb form, these are all the things you need to know about every single word that you research. In the beginning, you need to research these things, but eventually you'll get an idea. When you listen to these words, when you read these words, you'll get an idea of how it works. You don't have to research everything. You'll automatically know how these things are working. But you need to read a lot in order to know these things. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Perfect.
Sir,
Go ahead.
one thing I would like to ask. In part 3, speaking to in part 3, of course, I'm answering the main answer, but I'm unable to express lot in 5 to 6 lines. Just it is 1 to 2 lines answer, like part 1 answer.
Hmm.
So, how can I make the sentence 5 to 6 lines?
Okay. Let's keep it as it is. You're talking about part 3.
Yes, sir.
But before we go there, what about part 2?
Yeah, part 2, it's okay. I can speak for 2 minutes, it's no issue. But of course, sometimes I'm using fillers.
Hmm.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What about part 1?
Part 1, it's okay. Part 1, it is not a big problem, sir. Part 1, it's okay, fine. And part 3 is the main issue for me
Hmm.
because yeah,
When it comes to part 2, how many sentences should you speak for all the questions?
I think it might be around 15, 10 to 15 sentence, I think.
Think about this. You're talking about sentences. 15 sentences or 15 words?
Sentences, sir.
Okay. If I say I am an IELTS tutor, this is one sentence. So if you
Okay,
make
yes,
15
sir.
of them, that's a huge thing. It's almost a paragraph, more than a paragraph. So what I'm talking about is how many sentences should you make for part 1 for every question and show variation, of course. Variation in
For
terms of
part,
grammar. Part 1.
yes, sir. In part 1, I think it should be 3 to 4, 2 to 3 sentences, sir.
Correct. It should be 2 to 3 sentences and try to use grammar whenever possible. Not every single time, whenever possible, show your grammatical skills and vocabulary skills. Making sure that
Okay,
your pronunciation is clear and try to speak as fluently as possible. When it comes to part 2, of course, your speech should be up to 2 minutes and try to show all the skills possible within those 2 minutes.
okay.
And when it comes to part 3, how many sentences do you need to make?
I think minimum 5 to 6.
Yes, 5 to 6. So this is how you should practice. Every time you're preparing a cue card and then you're going for part 3, make sure you have a piece of paper with you. Ask anyone to ask you simple questions about part 3, and every time you say something, write down a dash. So this is one sentence. So every time you make a sentence, put a dash, second dash, third dash, fourth dash, and fifth dash. So this is your bare minimum, and this is when you move on to the next question. So until you finish these 5 checks, you won't move on to the next question in part 3. Is this clear?
Okay, okay,
And how
okay,
do
sir.
we reach this 5 point? At least 5 point. 6 is even better. 5 to 6 points. So how to reach this 5 word limit? Any idea?
No, sir, I don't have idea, so I'm asking you.
What do you do basically when you speak?
Yeah, actually, whenever I get this part 3 questions, just firstly I will address the main answer for that question.
Hmm.
After that, if I want to give something more, I will try to give some supporting example.
Okay. How do you give your examples? How do you share it? Let's say the
Yes.
topic is traffic. How do you answer that? How do you give an example for this one?
For instance, in this modern generation, traffic is the one of the major problem we are facing.
That's not an example. That's
Okay.
just a such
Okay.
as.
Okay. Otherwise, we can say, for instance, in this modern generation, everyone is purchasing their own cars. This is resulting in increase in pollution.
Kind of.
Pollution.
Can you make it better? Can anybody
Okay.
else try? Like, give an example for traffic. How would you say that? A proper
Tra-
example for part 3.
Okay. Everyone is purchasing the vehicles, so the traffic on the roads are increasing.
No, 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 not like that. I'm asking the audience. Ashley, Nani, Pandari, or Henil. Try to give an example for part 3. This is the speaking module, and we are talking about part 3.
Yes, sir.
So, Ashley, Henil, or Nani, give it a shot. One example at least.
Sir, could you please repeat the question?
Yeah, your topic is traffic, And this is a question from part 3. How would you share an example? You can give any answer of traffic. It should be an example for traffic. How would you answer this?
Then example should be related to pollution or maybe other issues.
How would you say that? Ashley, give it a shot.
For example, traffic problems affect me whenever I go for my works, wasting a lot of time on the road.
Okay. We'll come back to this. But before that, let's tap to task 2. I want to show you guys something. Why do you think this is shared over here for task 2? Have you seen this? This is in all the essays. Every single essay has this one. It
Yes,
says
sir.
give reasons for your
Yes.
answer and include any relevant examples from your own knowledge or experience.
Yes, sir.
So, does this apply only for task 2?
I think it is applicable for speaking part also.
It is applicable for speaking part as well. But how do you give that example? How do you share an example? Making sure that this is taken into consideration. I'll talk about writing first and then I'll show you how to do the same thing for speaking. Alright.
Okay.
So, first of all, when it comes to writing, if you remember the old charts, I'm not sure if Lakshman you have seen it or Nani you have seen it, but I know that Hanil and Ashley has seen this chart. We should not share personal examples. It says relevant examples from your knowledge and experience, but does not say personal examples. A personal example could be like my little brother is always on his cell phone, or my little sister is constantly addicted to social media. This is a personal example. Should we
Yes, sir.
include personal examples?
No, we should not.
We should not. So, what about surveys, research?
Yes, sir, we can.
We should not. Nor for writing task 2, nor for speaking. You should not. Because a survey can be memorized and most of your surveys are fake. Because you are not going to research during your examination. You might have seen certain essays. I'm not talking about IELTS essays. I'm talking about the actual essay a university student generates. They will be using surveys because they are given time to do their research of their dissertation or their thesis. And that is why they are showing surveys. But this is not the case. You are not given time to do your research. You are supposed to share examples from your own knowledge, not someone's survey. Another thing about survey is if you share a survey, that is not your language. It is not your produced language. It is a memorized language. For instance, if I share a survey, there will be a percentage. It is something you memorize. Got the point?
Okay, got the points.
When is memorization tested in life? For competitive exams. You need to memorize a lot of things about geography, physics, politics, and everything. But this is not a memorization technique. This is English
English
language.
test.
Exactly. So
Yes.
your English is tested. So if you say that a lot of teenagers in my country, or you can simply say, according to the recent survey, 57% of teenagers are addicted to social media and their gadgets. That is a survey now. So you are closer. Now you know something is right, something is wrong. So as per your own knowledge and experience, you can say, for instance, a lot of teenagers in my country are these days addicted to cell phones. Is it from your own knowledge and experience? Understood this point?
No, sir.
A lot of teenagers in my country are usually seen on cell phones, using cell phones, and they are addicted to it. This is my experience of my own country.
Okay.
Got the difference?
Okay.
This is how we write examples in essays, and this is exactly how we speak
So
examples.
actually, sir, that means we need not to say a survey conducted.
You should not
We
use
should remove.
surveys, no research, no
Yeah, we
proof
should
of
remove this
anything.
survey. Yes, sir, we should remove this survey and research while
From
we are
this.
giving example.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right? So what you need to understand is, even in the speaking module, it is a bit challenging to speak up to 5 sentences or 6 sentences. So your first point could be answering the question. You can give the explanation of your answers. So this is the first part. Second thing is, you can give a reason why you said yes or why you said no to something. And then comes examples. Here you can add a second point, and then you can come to examples to make it longer. You can say apart from this, besides, another thing that I
Okay,
can
sir.
remember
Sir,
is.
got it. Sir, got it. Same like essay question,
Yes,
writing part essay question.
yes, now you get the point. And one more thing
Yes, sir.
is, I've seen a lot of students, even at institutes, I'm talking about all the institutes in India. I've seen a lot of students, I've trained a lot of students from different institutes in India. So what they do is, when the tutor asks them questions, they will answer 2 or 3 points, and then the examiner, when the student stops speaking, the tutor goes to the second question, and then the third question, the fourth question, and this same thing repeats during the examination. So the examiner will wait for you to finish. If you're finishing every time at 3 points, it shows that you don't have much to extend. And the examiner also simply goes to the next question, just like the tutor does. And this
Okay.
does not show your range. You need to show your complete range, that you need to, you can extend your points. So back to traffic. I've commonly seen that whenever we travel from one place to another, we always come across traffic in big cities. It's a common thing that we see. So is it our experience? In a
Yes, sir.
conversational tone, I just said it as a conversation. I've commonly seen this in my city, or I commonly seen this in metro cities, that whenever we travel from one place to another, we have to face a lot of traffic problems.
Okay.
Correct? So this is how you reach that 6 sentence limit, 5 to 6. It's not mandatory that you hit every sixes. It's okay, 5, 6, 4, 5, 6. This is something that should be your range for part 3. All right.
Okay, I got it, sir. Same like essay, we have to elaborate this speaking
Yes,
part 3.
yes, because it is an English language test. You cannot expect to just say 1 or 2 sentences and go to the second part in part 3.
Okay.
All right. You can write down a few words.
Apart from, yes, sir. Besides.
I'm just trying to recall. This is not something that I'm pulling out from notes. So just go with the flow. Why is this written in this way? Can anyone tell me? Why didn't I say additionally, moreover, furthermore? Those things are also correct. But what is the difference
Yes, sir.
between these two? What is the difference between these two?
Additionally, moreover, furthermore, these are connecting words, sir.
And what are these?
Linkers.
What are these?
The- Like this reminds me, means it is like opinion. Another thing that I would like to, another thing that
Additionally
comes from,
plus opinion. This
yes,
also becomes the same. What is the difference?
Sir, can I give the answer?
You know the answer. Yeah, what's it?
Sir, apart from that, besides are generally used for conversations.
Exactly. What
On
is
the
the
other hand,
tone?
additionally, moreover,
So that is called
sorry, sir,
tone.
tone,
This
yes,
tone is conversational, and this tone is
conversational,
academic.
quite formal, sir,
And
academic, yes.
I'm not saying that you should only use this and do not use this. I'm not saying that. I'm not promoting that. I'm saying use a mixture of both of them, because you're academic students. You should know both of them, and while speaking, use both of them. But while writing, try to stick more with academic.
yes, sir.
Clear?
Got it.
You can write this down, take a screenshot, but make sure that you start using it. I just met one of my students today. He invited me for his wedding, and I went to receive his invitation card. So that is when he reminded me of one of the things I used to say a lot when I used to teach him 2 3 years back. So this is what I used to say a lot. That is, implemented knowledge converts to wisdom. I'll repeat it once again. Okay, I'll use better handwriting. Implemented knowledge gets converted to wisdom. The rest goes into ashes. I just made this up right now. This is a better version than that. But did you get this point? Implemented knowledge gets converted to wisdom, the rest goes into ashes. Should I explain what ashes is, or did you get the idea? Anyone who did not get this?
No,
You got it or did not get it?
I got it something 50-50 like.
Okay. So this is what I'm trying to say. When I shared this one, and when Hanil revealed that this is a conversational tone, did you get an aha moment like, yeah, this is exactly what I'm thinking? This is correct.
Yes, sir.
But the problem is, if you don't start using it as soon as possible, this will convert to ashes. Ashes means the remaining after a fire. That is called ashes. The black powder thing, the grayish thing, that is called ashes. So if you don't implement this as soon as possible, it will fade away from your memory.
Okay.
Got it? So try to implement it as soon as possible. Dilkush, Jamshid, and Chirag, we are live on Google Meet. So if you'd like to join us, you can click on the link that is shared in the group. All right. So next question. Another thing that comes to my mind is we'll be closing this session by 11 p.m. That means almost 25 minutes. In 25
Yes,
minutes,
sir.
we'll be closing this session. All right.
Okay.
And for the users on Telegram who are watching us live, you can join us on Google Meet if you like to ask me anything. The link is already shared in the chat. So, next question, please. You guys should come here with a bag of questions so that you can constantly bombard me.
Yes, sir. If I get any doubts, just I'm referring YouTube. Otherwise, some your channel, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Jamshid, long time. Dilkush, long time. Chirag, I think he was there last time. How are you guys?
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing
No,
good.
can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear both of
Uh,
you.
uh,
So, next question, please.
Today's topic about speaking, right?
Yep.
I'm not
I'll
mistaken
just
because
reiterate what I
I
said because 2 or 3 people joined here. Jamshid and Dilkush, were you guys listening already on Telegram?
no, I'm not. Just uh I joined it and like maybe you're gonna just I mean allow me to speak, but you don't, and then you just told us you're organizing on Google Meeting, and
Yes.
soon
And that is the reason I
yeah.
was
By
not
the
able
way,
to check out the joiners from Telegram. So, this is how our
yeah.
sessions will be from now onwards. I'll be sharing the live screen over there. This session is with me. That means I have the Google Meet access, so I'm sharing it here. And also the thing is, I've recorded it for my students, so my personal students get the recording. So this is how it's gonna be from today onwards.
Mhm. Okay. If the Yeah, I'm sort of questions absorb. I have question about speaking. It's kind of insane because these kind of things coming to my mind, and okay, what about this? Okay, anyways, I'm gonna ask you. In
Okay,
speaking.
Jamshid, your voice was stuck.
There, can you hear me now?
Yes, it's fine, much
Yeah.
better.
Yeah. In speaking, I mean in the exam, there is a continuation of the questions. If the examiner asks some question, another question will be related to this. Like, uh, do you like fishing? The next question can be, what was the last time did you fish? Or the do you like drinking coffee? Or like, what question? Do you usually buy coffee from a coffee shop? And in here, I'm getting to the point. If we give totally negative answer to the first question, can we literally escape the topic? I mean, that's stupid. I know. Uh, if we give the negative answer, examiner can change the topic, or anyway, we'll ask the question. I mean, it's not kind of logic, I know, but how it can be.
I got your point. This is how it works. So let's say you were talking about fishing, and these were the predetermined set of questions that the examiner wanted to ask you. So this is how the questions are assigned for you. And let's say in the first question itself, you say that you don't like fishing and you don't like fishes because you are a vegetarian. So do you think the examiner will move on to the next question about fishing?
That's why I'm asking this question because I know it's not wise to do like this because if you give the negative answer, maybe I know there is no task response nor task achievement, but like much more comfort. I mean, for like acting like a human, you know. That's
Say you are sharing your genuine opinion, and you can say that I'm someone who is a vegetarian, so I've never ever tried fishing in my life, nor I have tried eating any fish. So they won't ask you, do you enjoy fishing? This is not logical. So they have a predetermined set of questions, but they have different topics as well. So this is fishing. So if you say that no, you don't like fishing and this is not your cup of tea, they will simply change the topic from here and they will take a different set. So another set could be traveling. And now they have a predetermined set of questions. So they will constantly ask you about traveling. Now there is one more thing. So you cannot simply skip the question by saying no, I don't like fishing. You have to give a reason. First you say no, I don't like fishing. Now you have to show a proper reason. And this is where you show your communication skills, that this is something that you don't prefer and these are the reasons why I don't prefer this. That is what they check. And if you're properly giving this answer, they'll simply go to the next topic and then they will again ask you questions.
Sir,
Yes.
I got it.
Okay, just a second, Lakshman. Jamshid, is your question clear now?
Yeah, I
Got
got
it?
it. I have never been any kind of the real exam. This is why I'm asking because the I'm thinking about in the exam the if we give the negative answer, how it could be the next question.
They will
It
change the
is
topic.
logical or
They'll change the topic.
yes, yes, okay.
Alright? Because it doesn't make sense. Let's say if I ask you, do you like fishing? And you'll be like, I've never ever tried fishing in my life. I can't ask you, do you enjoy fishing? That whole set of
Yeah.
question is gone. But yes, you shouldn't try to act smart and say no to every question. Then the examiner will keep the script aside and then they will pick the reasons that you give and then they will directly ask you questions. For instance, if I ask you, do you like writing? No, I don't prefer writing. I'd rather listen to something. Then I can ask you, what do you like listening? You cannot say, now I don't like listening. Alright? The examiners are smart and that is the reason they are there.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because you know, the thing I know about the exam, in part one, the examiner asks written questions in the paper. In the part three, on the other hand, they create the question in accordance with how we responded to the part two questions. Uh, and also our level. I mean, they can create the questions based on our level, like we are band 7 or 8, maybe 9. They can give more abstract questions in part three, but in part two, they give the like written questions they have already in their like notebook or just paper. That's why I'm asking, because if they get a topic for us, uh, they start to asking about coffee, and they will ask all the questions, and how can I answer the? That's why I'm asking.
Okay. Jamshed, to answer that question, you might have seen those sample questions. A lot of questions and answers are shared on the internet. Have you ever analyzed what type of questions they are asking? Are they too challenging questions? Are they talking about life,
Uh,
philosophy, or things, or basic
yeah,
things?
there are also philosophical ones. For example, uh, when was the last time you get into trouble and how you handle it? Or some psychological ones.
Nope.
If you had one wish, what would you wish for? This kind of questions appeared in speaking and stand-ups that I have shared for you. And yeah, this is the really, I
Okay.
can't say this is really sophisticated, but it kind of makes someone think like, oh my God, how can I answer this question? Maybe
These are
difficult
still
ones.
simple to think questions. The entire IELTS test is made in such a way that if you don't know, you're not a specialist about certain topics, that's completely fine. They're just giving you situations. Did you do this or not? And it's not that challenging, because many a times I leave the script aside, because we have questions from the internet, but sometimes I keep the script aside and I try to be spontaneous. For instance, if you tell me something, I'll ask you questions based on that. That makes it more challenging for the person who is trying to answer. But IELTS questions, I believe, after some level, you'll find it much easier. I'm not talking about these days, but later in your life, once you get comfortable with the language, you'll find that IELTS questions are not that complicated. They're simple questions. Because I know that
Uh,
when I stop asking questions from these templates and all these questions for IELTS speaking, I ask them real, genuine question. Why do you think that you should go to this particular country? What is your reason behind selecting this idea? What is your definition of happiness? So I start asking more personal questions, and that becomes more challenging than IELTS.
mm,
Correct?
yes.
Okay. Lakshman, you were asking me something.
Yes, sir. Actually, I would like to avoid repetitions in speaking module. Sometimes I do repetitions, and by the way, I feel sometimes nervous, and sometimes I won't feel nervous at the time. I can speak well. This is what I'm. Yes, sir. First thing I would like to do, I would like to remove my repetitions.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So these are the two
By the
things.
way, sorry for interrupting. Can you ask some questions? I mean, read to some art speaking, then you can just analyze how we can handle it.
Okay, sure. Okay, I'll first explain this one and then I'll ask a few questions until the time is up. All right. So, Lakshman, what you're saying is you have repetitions, you have a few fillers and pauses. This is what your problem is.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So, there are things in IELTS that is bad but even better than something else. What I'm trying to say is there are certain things that are still errors, that are still bad, and you'll lose bands for it. But there are more things that will lose more bands. There are certain things that will lose more bands. I'll give you an example. What is the difference between systematic and non-systematic errors? I accidentally wrote questions because Jamshed said questions. I was trying to say errors. What do you mean by these two things? I explained this to one of my students this morning. Systematic and non-systematic. Any idea?
It can be like about grammar, and also, I mean, no, when it comes to repetition and pauses, it can be like content related pauses, or let's say, like we can make pauses to for to, to find alternative words in speaking, and it can make a difference for like evaluation, because while we're speaking, it's not good to make pause to search for some uh, grammar structures, because we have to speak as the way we speak. It is much more appropriate way. Uh, this is what I understand, like systematic errors and non-systematic, like natural and natural.
True. But there is something else about this. I'll simply ask you which one is good, which one is bad, or are both of them bad? We'll talk about hesitation first. We'll come back to systematic later. Let's talk about hesitation. Which one is good, which one is bad, or are both of them bad? If so, which one is worse? So
I
you are rating
think
it as per bad and worse.
For me,
lang
neither of them good, because you shouldn't make pauses while speaking. Instead of just speak or use some fillers,
I'm not talking
maybe.
about pauses or repetition or systematic, non systematic. I'm talking about just these two: hesitation,
Is
content related, and language related. So, which one would you say as bad and which one out of them is worse?
for bad, language related hesitation can be bad, because it is bad actually.
And content would
Content
be
related,
worse?
the way I know about it, this is okay, because the native speakers also make hesitation while they're speaking,
Hmm.
because they don't think about the vocabularies they're using. They think about ideas because of the complexity of some of the questions, or how can I respond to this man, something like this.
This is true. Even native speakers say, um, well, I personally have never tried this because I don't want a habit of saying and well. So I don't have these ums and wells. Native speakers sometimes do, a lot of them do. But I'm talking about these two things: hesitation related to language and content. So think about this. This is an international English language testing system. The test itself has language in it. So if you hesitate in terms of the English language, is it bad or worse?
I think it is bad.
It is worse than bad
Okay.
because you're hesitating in the language that you're being tested. And this would be bad. It's bad that you're hesitating. Your hesitation will be visible. When you hesitate, your confidence also goes down. This will affect your fluency.
Yes, sir. There is no lot of difference between between these two, no, as it language and content related.
There is a huge difference. So if I ask you, I don't exactly remember what is that called, then it is a language related hesitation. But if I forget what to say, that is content related.
Okay.
That's a major difference. So as I'm saying, both of them are bad. So if I put a cross here, I'll put two crosses here. Now let's talk about systematic and non-systematic. I'll simply explain it with the help of articles. Let's say I am someone who does not know how to use articles. So I simply say it is the apple. Is it correct?
Uh,
The means is
in
when we are
terms of
showing a particular thing.
pronunciation, I'm sorry, it should be it is the apple, but I mean in terms of context also it makes clear, but it should be it is an apple.
So the correct one is it is
An apple.
an apple. Lakshman, Jamshid, Hanil, and Ashley. You got this point. This is kindergarten stuff. But someone who does not know how to use articles, they will constantly use the and a wherever they feel like. So systematically they are making errors.
Yes.
All right. And I'll zoom out and I'll show you one thing. I found it, but I was not able to talk about it. And here we go. This is the one. So I'll cut it from here. let's bring it here. So this is what one of the students said. I won't name anybody. Let's not point out mistakes. Okay, accidentally copied. Hesitation, not that one. One of the. So the rule for one of the is always using plural on this side. Even if it is one of my, the rule says you should use plural because we are selecting one from a group. So it should always be one of my friends, not friend. One of my mistakes.
Okay. Enough.
Alright, this has to be plural, and you have to remember the rules for singular plural. I cannot say one of the persons. This is wrong. I cannot say one of the persons. This is also wrong. I have to say one of the
People.
people. Correct. Can I say one of the child? No. Can I say child's? No. Can I say child's with an apostrophe s? No. I have to say one of the
Children.
children. Fortunately or unfortunately, I don't have children, so I won't say one of my. I'll always keep one of the. Not always. For some time, I'll keep one of the children until I bear my own. So, one of the men or man. Which one is correct?
It is man. It is man.
One
If
of
we
the
just
men. Is it one of the woman? No. What is it?
woman.
One of the women. Men.
Can you pronounce that word?
Woman.
Woman. Woman. It's not woman. It's oh my god.
Woman.
Anil? Okay, not before Anil. Chirag, what is it? One of the?
Woman.
Okay. Anil?
We will say for just singular woman.
Woman is correct, but plural is wrong. The pronunciation is wrong.
Yeah.
Woman.
Yes, sir.
What is the pronunciation of this? One of the?
One of the woman.
Okay, come on, dude. You
And
made it.
uh,
Okay, the first one
for
is correct.
plural, it is women.
Plural it is
Women.
women. So Anil is saying we men. Is it correct?
Nah, it's incorrect.
It is correct.
Yeah.
It's not women, it is women. So whenever you hear
Women.
someone saying happy women's day, that is wrong. It is always happy women's day. Women.
Mm.
So now you know
Okay, I'm
this
gonna
problem. And while speaking, let's say that you know this rule and you already showed the examiner that you already know this rule and you're using plural, but accidentally you said one of the persons instead of saying one of the people. Would this be considered as a systematic error?
Mm,
No.
I'm not sure.
It is accidental, and that's okay. You'll lose bands for grammar. A little bit of inaccuracy will be pointed out, but you won't lose a lot of bands as compared to someone who always say one of my friend, one of my mistake, one of my persons. That is systematic.
What about native speaker? I'm pointing out the native speakers. They sometimes say there is a lot of people instead of there are.
There are a lot of people. See, this is a problem.
Yeah.
That even native speakers have a lot of mistakes, and I see them on a daily basis. I consume a lot of content personally. So either I'm teaching, or I'm working on the website, or I'm researching something, or I'm learning something from these people. This is how my entire day goes on, and I find a lot of errors of native speakers.
Here's the question comes in this case: should we make this kind of mistakes while speaking?
No.
Consciously or unconsciously, you know.
Just because someone buys an alligator, that doesn't mean that you should own one.
Yeah.
Best explanation.
Could you repeat that?
Just
Proverb?
because, just because someone buys an alligator. What is an alligator?
Like
Alligator, it is same like crocodile.
It is a crocodile.
Yes, sir.
So just because a rich person bought this thing, should you buy it as well? Definitely.
no.
not. If I had more time, I would have shared a story, but not for this moment. I'll share it sometime else. Anyway, so are you getting the point of
Sir,
these things?
yes, sir. We have to say one of the persons, sir.
One of the people, no, one of not one of the persons. There is not. There is not even the word persons does not even exist. This is singular.
Okay.
Person is singular. People is plural. We can
Okay,
use
one of the people.
one of the people. We can use persons, but the context should be possession. So a
Okay.
person's opinion matters, or this person's. Let me point out one person. So this person's opinion matters to us. This child's opinion is useful. Got it? I can say
Got it.
these children's opinion is useful. Done?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now let's talk about repetition. So when it comes to speaking, there are times when we are out of idea, and instead of completely stopping, it's okay to reiterate what you say. I'm using the word reiterate. What does it mean?
Restart.
No.
Yeah, restate. Uh, it's like concluding, to state back. I mean, to say that again, right?
Now did you get it? Iterate means to say or write. Now what does reiterate means?
Mm.
To
To
repeat what you
write.
said or what
Yeah.
you wrote.
To repeat.
Alright?
Yes, sir.
So
To
when you're out
repeat
of
what
idea,
you said in other words, like maybe paraphrasing.
we don't repeat the words exactly as it is. Most of the times we paraphrase. But let's say I shared something recently. Yeah. So I did not paraphrase this. I just reiterated this word to word. Alright. So it's not mandatory in this one. But when it comes to IELTS, you should try to paraphrase. You should not say the same thing again and again. Got it?
Okay.
Coming back to repetition, what I'm trying to say is when you speak, there will come a time, sometimes, not every time. If you lack practice, you'll find this more often. But when you feel that you're out of ideas, you have this tendency of repeating the same thing. So instead, try to conclude and repeat. That's far better. Try to paraphrase and repeat instead of completely stopping. Completely
But yes,
stopping
sir.
means,
Yes, sir. At that moment, we will try to focus only on the topic, so we can't think at that moment.
yeah. So think of the question.
Yes, sir.
So at the end, let's say you're at the end of the speaking cue card, you can just reiterate the question. It is better. See, you should not repeat the question. You can just paraphrase it and say that this is the conclusion. But it is far, far better than completely stopping before time.
Exactly. I'm not getting the right thing, sir. What you are going to say?
Okay, I'll explain this. So this is your timeline. This is 0 seconds. And this is all the way to 2 minutes. So I'm
Yes.
talking about when you reach this portion, is it better to stop speaking?
No, we have to stop for. We have to talk for 2 minutes
We have to
continuously.
talk until the examiner stops us. We don't know when the 2 minutes are up. They can even stop us
Yes, sir.
somewhere here. It depends on them.
Yes, sir.
Alright, they can stop you from 1.5, that means 1 minute and 30 seconds, to 2 minutes.
Yes, sir.
Alright, so we don't know when the 2 minutes are up. We might think that 2 minutes are about to up, but we could be somewhere here. Because of fear, we think that the time is flying. But in reality, we don't know when it is ending. So instead of stopping, it is far better to reiterate the question. Just summarize your question, add a conclusion. So anyway, this was the time that I traveled with my family members, and this became one of the most memorable moments of my life, something that I would savor in the future. I just repeated the question. Did you get?
Yes,
It's
sir.
better than stopping.
Yes, sir.
I would rather repeat the question than I would stop. Now it all boils down to this question: should I repeat the question? No. Even that is bad, but it is better than stopping. Getting the point?
Yes, sir.
So this is what you should try to do. Put an effort to continue speaking until the 2 minute timer is up. So eventually you'll have to learn the skills of concluding properly. Eventually there is something that you can do. there is a phrase that is also an inverted sentence. Little did I know. Did you learn about this? Do you know what this sentence is? Does anyone know how to use this apart from Ashley and
Yes,
Anil?
it is uh, what we call. Yeah, I just forget the name. We have the specific
I already
name for
explained
this
this in
grammar
the past.
structure.
So this is
Yeah,
called,
I got it. Version.
yeah, almost correct. This is called an inverted sentence. Got the idea? Chirag, not Chirag. Yes, Chirag as well as Lakshman and Jamshid. Why is it called inverted sentence?
Because the auxiliary verb did. I mean, it should be I knew, but the I can't explain fully. But it is like I little did I know, kind of, much more academic, like high level English user.
This is what I did. I used verb plus subject instead of subject plus verb. So this is a skill that you should be showing. Got the point? Do you know how
Okay.
to use it? Little did I know. And what does this mean? Little did I know.
It means I know a little bit about it.
No.
Little bit means I know some about that.
Yeah,
Nope.
I
Ashley?
have less information. I am not aware of it fully or something.
It's okay. What does it mean, Ashley?
Earlier, I was not knowing about it, but at present, I know much more about that
So,
certain.
correct. Can anybody give an example of that using this little did I know?
For example, can we say something like, little did I know about alt writing, I got from my last mock exam.
Mm, no. I'll give one
I think
example. Little did I know that joining these sessions will give me this much clarity about the IELTS test. What does this mean? That when you join these sessions for the very first time, try to remember the first day you joined this session. You all are repeaters of these sessions. Chirag has joined at least 6 or 7 of these sessions. Jamshid has joined at least 25 sessions. Anil has joined at least 15 sessions. Lakshman, this is your 5th or 7th session. And Ashley, probably your 7th or 8th session. So when you joined for the very first time, did you even imagine that you'll learn these many things and you'll still join in the present? At present, did you think that you will be joining these sessions these many times?
No.
No.
No,
So
sir.
back then, little did I know that joining these sessions will give me this much clarity about the IELTS test.
Okay.
Got it? So this is a skill that you should develop of using these sentences. There are other skilled sentences, but try to practice one at a time. Don't use all of them together. This will boost your bands for grammatical range and accuracy.
but it is too formal. I mean, for example, instead of just not only I know about that, like not only do I know about him, this is the grammar.
It's not formal. This is a conversation.
Okay.
Now that you learned this, you'll find this in IELTS reading module. You'll find this in web series that you watch and also the movies that you watch. Now you'll find these things when people say it. Right? Harpinder, I read your text. Can you drop me a DM on Telegram? I'll get back to you personally. And you're a little bit late. We are about to end the session. Right? And I think you all can unmute yourself. You might not be able to turn on your camera, but you should be able to unmute yourself.
Uh, i- okay. Can I ask one question? It's not some question. I mean, maybe asking somehow advice. Uh, in speaking, what about the content? For example, I know some structures, overly complicated vocabularies or let's say structures, but I can't use them in speaking. And I know if we use them, we can get high score because I have seen many times just band 9 or maybe 8 speakers can get high score because when I watch them, the way they speak kind of different from mine because I always speak really simple. My answers is really basic, but I at least I'm giving answers. But their answer kind of like really colorful, with different vocabularies and different kind of structure.
Okay. So what you're saying is there are certain words you also named it as overcomplicated. So try not to use too complicated words. But you're saying that the basic words or a little bit advanced words that you're learning, you're not able to show it when you're speaking. Is that so?
Hmm?
For instance, if I ask you, how
Yes,
was the
sir.
food? Yes, Lakshman.
I do the same, sir.
Yeah, you
Yes,
know
sir.
words,
I
but not
learn
the
lot
same.
of vocabs, but when it comes, yes, sir. I learn lot of vocabs, but when it comes to speaking, I am unable to use. Means, uh, I'm not getting the right word, right advanced vocab at that moment.
Hmm.
Yes, sir.
So if someone asks you, how was your dinner? You'll simply say, it was good. Or if you are preparing for IELTS, you will say, it was fantastic.
Okay.
But
Yes, sir.
do you know far, far better words? These are words that we spontaneously say. But
Yes, sir.
if you really think about it, can you say much better words? Can you reply in a better lexicon
Mm,
rich sentence? Can you create a
yeah,
better sentence?
When it comes to whenever someone
so
asks, "How
it
are
was
you?" we
like
can
it
say
was
like,
because we ate palaw and also today was my father's birthday and that's why we get together with many like relatives and it
I'm saying
can go
vocabulary
on.
rich. Lakshman, please finish your sentence and then Jamshid.
"Okay, how was your dinner?" So I can say my dinner was delectable.
It was delectable.
Yes, sir.
Then, Jamshid,
Yeah, I mean, instead of just saying this, like, yeah, can you say it was meticulous?
sure, it was meticulous. When do we use meticulous?
Mm, kind of good, but it is not.
There is a word called conscientious. It's a word that I avoid because it's a huge mouthful word, conscientious, but it means that you're doing your job very well. That is called conscientious.
Yeah.
And meticulous means almost the same thing. You're showing detailed attention to everything you're saying or doing. So you cannot say that my food was meticulous. No. Can you say my food, it was warm and savory? It was mouth watering and flavorful.
Yeah, I know the second, but I don't know the warm and savory.
Savory, that means it had a lot of flavors and it was enjoyable.
Yes. Yes.
So is this better than, yeah, it was good, it was fantastic? Did you know these
Yes.
words? Of course you did. But what
Yes,
is the
sir.
problem now?
I,
Why do you think that
I
you.
can't just think of it because I mostly
yes.
focus on answering the question. It's just thinking about some of uh, the words.
See, the problem is we all have a lot of words that are our deep part of lexicals. So, deeper lexicons or lexical resources. And there are certain surface vocabulary. This is how I term it, surface vocabulary. So if someone says, how was your dinner? It was good, it was fantastic. How was the day? It was absolutely fine. These are called surface vocabulary because we have used it a lot of times. But do you think that we also know these words? Yes. But where is it? It's deeper. We have to think about it. So, how do you bring these good words to the surface?
When we practice lot.
Mm, the correct word is repetition. You need to repeat those words. First, spend some time, think about common questions that people ask. Think about common questions asked in part 1.
Yeah,
When
when someone asks how are you, we can say I'm fit as fiddle. Otherwise, I'm over the moon. And so far, so good.
it was not bad, I wouldn't complain.
Yes, sir.
Did I say fit as fiddle or over the moon? No.
Yes, sir. When we repeat these words in our daily conversations, we can automatically say whenever someone asks these questions.
True, but don't start using idioms or stuff like that when someone asks you, like, how was your day? Or
Okay.
how are you? Don't say, I'm fit as a fiddle. It sounds okay just to show that you're learning these vocabs, but in normal life, people don't say these things. People just say, it's so far so good. I can't complain. Simple as that.
What about the in art speaking?
In,
Should we use these words? Because personally, I don't like using items.
hmm. Okay, that's your personal choice. But in terms of
Yeah.
IELTS, when you're speaking, when you're having a conversation, you should show idioms because that is a feature of 7 band and above. If I show you the IELTS
For example,
rubrics,
instead of this, I'm sorry. Uh, we can say something's expensive. Instead of just expensive, if you use it is Arman like. I
it
mean, it
cost
can
me an
cost
arm and a leg.
Arman like.
It cost me an
Otherwise,
Yeah.
arm.
yes, sir. Break
It
the
is
bank.
very
Break the bank.
inconvenient. I
It
can't do
broke
that.
my bank. Past tense.
Yes,
That's
sir.
why you have to use grammar.
Mm.
Okay, I'll simply show you something. IELTS rubrics, we have it here as well as in the resources
Yes, sir. I
section.
saw. I saw
And
some idioms there.
yeah, so if you look at 7 band and above, if you say band 7 and above, it would clearly show idiom, the word idiom for the very first time. 8 band, again idiom. 9 band, again idiom. So this is only applicable for speaking, but you need to understand this thing. Uses less common and idiomatic vocabulary, but they did not say that it's whether it is skillful or natural. They're just saying try to use idioms. They also mentioned with
Yeah.
inappropriate choices. So sometimes if it's wrong, you can still show the features of 7 band. But when it comes
I
to
guess
8 band,
here might take languages in here. It can be idioms. Yeah, mostly it can be referred as idioms.
hmm,
But what about collocation,
yes.
phrasal verb?
Hmm. When it comes to collocations, there is also a particular section about collocations on the website. Did you see that?
Yeah, we have.
Where is 7? Yeah. Yeah, here it is. 7 band. So 7 and above, you need to show the correct collocation. So what do you mean by collocation?
The meaning, the words go together naturally.
Exactly. Perfect. Got the point? So if
Yeah.
someone says that someone expired, that is wrong. We pass away. We are human beings. We don't come with an expiry date. So these are things that native speakers automatically know because they are learning from their parents who are also quote unquote native speakers. But we learn from non native speakers mostly and we learn from our friends. So sometimes we make this mistake. So if you learn the right collocation, you'll know exactly what to say, what not to say in the right way. So it's a whole section about this. You can just read it and understand what collocations are. And there is a huge set that I've shared in this one for all three ones: nouns, verbs, and adjectives. Make sure that you just read it. You'll get to know what they are, and then you'll be able to fulfill this criteria of band 7. So it doesn't mean that once you start using vocabulary, good vocabs, good idioms, and good collocations, that doesn't mean your band will directly jump to 7. It is one of the 4 criterias. You need to show all of them in order to score a 7.
Mhm.
So
By the way, fluency and coherence. like what I know about coherence, it is uh, all answers are making sense or just say understandable or something like this. Uh, Fluency is the easy to understand, like speaking with natural pace and like without so many pauses. And also, what about the clarity? I mean, if we speak with good fluency, can for example, in they can, what I know, they give like different score, like fluency. For example, if you get 7 or 8 for fluency, for the coherence for if it's 6, you'll get 6. Is it correct or like?
Okay, so what you speak, if it resonates with 6, you'll get a 6, as simple as that. But if you show some features of 7 and some features of 6, you get a 6.5. And coherence means being logical and consistently being logical. This is what coherence is: logical and consistency. And cohesion means connectedness, unity, bond, togetherness. In simple terms, to put things simply, you can simply remember Favicol as cohesion. So it should be connected. Everything should be well connected. I simply show my students a wall. So brick wall. And this is what I show them. So this gray matter, this is what cohesion is. This is what sticks your ideas and everything together. And this orange thing or reddish thing, those are your ideas. Are they put logically in a proper order? Yes, they are. So that is your cohesion.
Yes.
Coherence means logical and consistency. Can you see logical and consistency in the bricks? Yes. Are they well
Yes.
connected with a proper bond? Yes. It is united, it is connected. So this is your CC, cohesion and coherence. Clear?
Yeah, I got the point.
Perfect. So we'll keep the session here. We'll keep something for the next session as well.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So thank you so much, all of you, for joining. If you have any questions, any queries, just make sure that you send it to me.
Okay.
Thank you so much, teacher. I really appreciate your listening to the voice.
You're most welcome. So as I said, we'll catch up. As I always say, we'll catch up next week. Make sure that you keep on preparing. And the only thing you need to take care is that you consistently practice. It's not a one day thing, it's a constant thing. The more you practice, the better you get. Right? And next week, same time, 10 p.m. Indian Standard Time. And just make sure that you verify it with your time zone, so you don't miss these sessions. And if you have any queries, you can drop me a text. You can find my WhatsApp number over here. And you can also mail me if you want to. That's my cell number, my business number, and my email ID. And we have these sessions every Saturday. All right.
Okay, sir. Okay,
So
thank you, sir.
thank you so much for joining. I'll see you guys next week.